Please listen to this very carefully. As a Christian, I'm deeply offended by the characterization of Muhammad as a prophet. He's not a prophet. He's a Muslim prophet. We don't share the idea. We don't consider him a prophet.
So what?
At all.
You don't get to pick who's a prophet and who's not a prophet just because you're a Christian.
Hold on. You see, here's the point. When you do that, it offends me.
Well, you'll have to be offended. I mean, other people.
Well, guess what? They'll have to be offended too. So they'll have.
So you would make the. So you consider those the same thing.
Yes,
you consider ridiculing the Prophet Muhammad by putting him in a bear suit the same thing as calling Muhammad a prophet. What's that?
I'm insulted by the notion that you call him a prophet. He's not a prophet.
He is in Islam.
I'm just as insulted by that as these people are by the depiction.
Well, you can't say that. You have no basis on which to make that last comment. You have no way to. You have no way whatsoever to quantify how and why the people who take offense at the depiction of Muhammad in a bear costume.
And you have no right to quantify the offense that I feel. I feel deeply offended by the notion that he's a prophet.
No, in
our world, he's absolutely a terrorist. He would have been the leader of.
Muhammad is a terrorist?
Pardon?
Muhammad is a terrorist?
Oh, absolutely. A vicious murderer.
And you're a moron.
A child molester as well.
And you're a moron.
Oh, well, you know what? See, this is the point.
No, I'm keeping you on because I want you to hear me call you a moron.
In the Quran, Judaism and Christianity is given. You can practice those religions, but you have to pay a tax to the local holy man. It says that in the Quran.
Right. Well, first of all, it says that the Quran respects the prophets of all three monotheistic religions, and Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. There was a period of time when you had to pay something which was called a jizra, which is a tax if you were not Muslim. If you lived in a country run by an Islamic leadership, that is certainly true. But, you know, when you talk about the Quran talking about wanting one world, one religion in the world, Christianity wants that too, and it makes no bones about it.
True.
Christians are sent deliberately to baptize the whole world.
Not by force.
Well, no, I'm not. They led armies in Italy against other city-states. When they were expanding their power. So it is not uncommon whatever. Listen, when crusaders were sent to the Holy Land for this very devout purpose of protecting Jesus' birthplace and the place of his death, did you know that the Pope granted crusaders a plenary indulgence if they would kill Jews along the way? I mean, please don't think that. Don't think that Don't think that Muslims invented death by the sword for spreading their religion.
I know they didn't, but Islam is a little more militant in their approach.
You have no basis on which to make that conclusion.
You
have no basis. I mean, can you cite a basis?
Of it. I'll tell you. The prayer 5 times a day. The way it is.
No. You asserted that Islam is more violent than these other religions, and I say you have no basis on which to make that assertion. Do you have a basis on which to make that assertion?
The Quran says it's okay.
We're not talking about what the Quran says. We're talking about over 1 billion people on the planet who call themselves Muslims, who you say are more violent than the adherents of other religions. Do you have a basis for that assertion?
In 2000, as we speak, yes. And there's history and there's what's happening now. There's a book I read that really opened my eyes. It's called The Politically Incorrect Guide to Islam and the Crusades.
Who wrote it?
I lent it out to a friend, and the name. I would just check that out. You know, I'm like I said. I wish we could get along. It's okay to make a deal with the infidel and lie to them if it furthers your purpose. It says it in the Quran. And they believe that. Christians can say, "Oh, the Bible."
Well, wait a minute. When you say they believe that, you mean Muslims?
Islam, Muslims.
Yeah. It's not true. There's a great difference of opinion about Muslim believers about some of the things in the Quran. You are acting as if there is a unitary belief of one kind or another. I can assure you that's not true.
There might be more moderate ones, but it says.
Well, I mean, of course there are more moderate ones. The overwhelming number of Muslims are more moderate.
Oh yes, but like I said before, they can. You're an infidel. They have to back their Islamic brother over you regardless.
No. No,
yes,
a great many. No, you don't speak for over 1 billion people. Don't tell me you know what 1 billion people believe, because you don't.
Like the gentleman said before, the vast majority of Muslim countries are dancing in the streets in the tower cell. And
no, that's not what he said. It's not what he said. You got to listen more carefully. The vast majority, he said, of Muslims in Arabic countries.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, and that's a smaller portion of Muslims. You don't pay attention, Stephen. I appreciate your call. You need to pay more careful attention. You need to avoid the all-encompassing broad brushstrokes, and you need to think a little harder. And please, you don't speak Arabic, and you haven't studied Islam. So please don't turn yourself into a translator of the Islamic tradition. In Oakland, you're on KGO.
Hi, Gene. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. I just want to take umbrage with, I guess his name was Stephen at the bottom of the hour.
Yes.
I thought he had a kind of a naive view. I think that all war, all conflicts are political in nature. And now people might wave a banner, a religious banner, to support their political views, but I think these are all political fights. I mean, who does bin Laden really hate? Israel or the United States? No, he hates the Saudi royal family.
Right.
When you brought up Ireland, that was a political. The sectarian wars in Northern Ireland was political.
Right.
The Sudan, the Lord's Resistance Army in Uganda, the Balkans, these are, even the Pakistani and India situation is political. And I think that people, like a lot of Americans, just take the Muslim thing and think that it's, look at Muslims as some kind of wild-eyed bunch, not realizing that there's, the Muslims in Philippines and Malaysia and Croatia and
China.
all over the world. That theirs is not a religious battle; it's political.
Right.
And that's why I hate to hear this kind of just mudslinging against the Muslim faith. When it's no different than any other kind of major conflict going on in the world. It's political.
Well,